everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry for not uploading, and today we will be reacting to this video called Don't Stay in School by a UK rapper. And this is going to be personally my opinion from based off the educational system that I have been learning in. And I hope you guys are interested, as this is a very interesting song. It was not too bad, I actually kind of enjoyed it. And yeah, hope you guys consider subscribing, hit the like button, turn on notifications, and let's get ready. Let's hop into the video.
I wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. I wasn't taught how to pay tax.
So when you said you weren't taught how to get a job, I completely disagree, because we do have a specific course dedicated, which is careers, on how we can build resumes, right? How we can talk to interviewers. We also did mock interviews, so we can talk to other people and we can get a good understanding of how to do proper interviews in general, right? As it would help us, it would give us a better understanding of what employers would want to do good in interviews and everything. When he says, I wasn't taught how to pay tax, right? One second.
But I can remember dissecting a frog.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but when he was saying dissecting a frog, I completely agree. Waste of a time. We spent 2 periods on it. Absolute waste of time. You go up to anybody and ask, do you know how to dissect a frog? Everybody's not gonna remember how they did it, what a scalpel is, like maybe what a scalpel is, but like the tools you need, right? And the procedure to do it, as it's very unlikely you're gonna be ever, it's very unlikely that this would ever occur as a job for you. And when he says he wasn't taught to pay tax, I disagree partially. It's because we do have BBI teaching us how to pay tax, but I still believe that BBI should be mandatory, as it does teach a lot of valuable information, such as how we manage our money, manage our taxes, manage our loans, manage debt, right? It teaches everything that's essential and necessary for us to live on in the real world. And I just believe that not enough students are taking it and appreciating like how good of a course it is and how well it's gonna benefit them. So I do believe that he's all right. I guess he's partially right. So when he says Shakespeare classics, we spent 2 weeks on that back in grade 9 reading the Romeo and Juliet book, writing an essay on it. It did slightly improve our writing skills. I'm not saying it didn't, but I think it's completely useless because we're focusing on the new generation, right? The newest, like the newer kids that are coming, right? We're focused on them. We're gonna be focusing on them, and we're gonna continue to focus on them, right? Reflecting on the past, writing is not gonna be necessary. We have to keep on pushing forward, right? We can't go back to the past, which is gonna end up holding us back. Although it's a good piece of history to remember, I don't think it's a good piece of history to learn, as it's good to have in memory, but not too good to apply in the real world.
They devoted that time to defining isotopes. I wasn't taught how to look after my health, but mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
So when he says I wasn't taught how to, I'm so sorry. When he wasn't taught how to deal with health, we do have gym, and in gym we have health, or phys ed we have health, and I feel like we spent a very good amount of time explaining how the human body works, how to clean it, how to make sure it's okay, and even the private genitals. We were able to discuss that openly, get all the questions in. Even in general, learn like let's just say some people even learn how to have safe sex, right? Because many people are not open to talk about that, right? And then we have them to use condoms and everything, right? Just to stay safe, not to spread HIVs, right? Or any STDs. And that was very useful information, because back then I didn't understand anything. I didn't know that those were a thing. I didn't know that it's a good way to prevent them. So I feel like they did a very good job. And then when he says never spent a lesson on current events, I disagree, because back in the day, back in middle school, elementary school, we did learn how to take on current events, as we spent every week everybody would do their own type of current event, look for one, and then we'd share it with the class. So I feel like we were very open about it, so we were able to know what was going on through the world. Yeah, that's my opinion. So over here said no loss for us. we haven't talked about laws at all, and up till like next year, which I obviously took the course of law because I really want to know how it's gonna help me. I want to know my rights if I ever encounter a situation such as a faulty cop who's trying to you take the advantage of me by falsifying information on me. I want to be able to know my rights. I want to be able to know everything. So I feel like it's a very important course that should be mandatory and we should learn it. So I partially agree with this.
I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are. Let me repeat, I was not taught the laws for the country I live in. But I know how Henry VIII killed his women. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. But that's in my
So when he says Henry VIII killed his women, I feel like that's an unnecessary piece of information. Although I feel like history is relevant, to like learn about Adolf Hitler, the Nazis, the Jewish concentration camps. I feel like that's all very, very necessary to learn. But I feel like it's just not gonna end up benefiting us in the benefiting us later on in the future. And I feel like because it's not gonna end up benefiting us, I feel like we shouldn't learn it at all.
instead of financial advice.
Financial advice. Business is very good for it. Business teaches you everything you need. I personally love this course. Although there were some downsides, such as like maybe the growth maturity, everything, like the product life cycle. That wasn't the most beneficial for me, because I don't think that's gonna be very important for me. But I did take away a bunch of things, such as I did end up following based off of what Mr. Seavey said, one of my teachers, follow Gary V. And then I have been keeping up with him, understanding him. He's always motivating. He's always giving you new ideas that we should be learning. And I feel like it's overall very good course. And I feel like I agree with him that we should be taught more financially because we don't get enough of that.
I was shown the wavelengths of different hues of light, but I was never taught my human rights. Apparently there's 30. Do you know them? I don't. What?
I agree with that. I can't name you a single human right because we haven't focused so much upon it. All we really have is we know that Justin Trudeau talks about him fulfilling the rights when he hasn't been doing his part. And I believe that learning them is very important because we should be able to know what our rights are, what we can and cannot do.
Hell, can't we both recite them by rote? I know igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks, yet I don't know squat about trading stocks.
Very true. Those rocks are very irrelevant because if I'm being honest with you, if I were to go outside and look at a rock, I would just call it a rock. I wouldn't specify it as igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic. I also agree with learning how to trade stocks as how the market works was very good, as it did open up my eyes to a variety of different things that I could do and apply to my real world. As I did previously invest in crypto, I invested $1,000, split 50-50 with my brother. We made $800. We got to $1,800. We got greedy. Well, it was my cousin's decision. We got a little greedy. We just had to hold it, but it dropped. We lost everything, pretty much everything. We dropped to 400, and now it's at 750. So we're currently down 250. And I truly believe crypto's the worst way you can invest. And it really opened up my eyes on how to invest in stocks and everything. As I did not do too bad, and I did make a profit of around $2,800 based off the 100K we invested.
So how money works at all? Where does it come from? How does the thing that motivates the world function? Not taught to budget and disperse my earnings. I was too busy there rehearsing cursive.
Agreed completely. Budgeting is very, very important, which you're only going to be able to learn in business and in accounting. You should be taking that course. I'm taking accounting and marketing next year. Learning cursive is very irrelevant because most people can't even read it. And the people who can read it are a very small percentage, and just knowing how to write normally is going to be completely fine for you. So cursive is very irrelevant.
How much it costs to raise a kid and what an affidavit is. But I spend days on what the quadratic equation is. To b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. They made me learn that over basic first aid for how to recognize the most deadly.
That is true. We should be learning more about CPR, okay, I'm sorry, I can't see the word, but we should be able to learn about everything that are the basic necessities, just in case we come in the survival phase. As if something does bad happen, it's not like math is gonna save us. Oh, what are we gonna do? 4 plus 4, we can add 4. Like, that's not gonna really help you in most cases, right? Although, unless you're a cashier, unless you're working that 9 to 5, right? Unless you're trying to stay inside of the non-money making area, unless you're trying to work under somebody and not open up your own business, doesn't matter.
Mental disorders or diseases with preventable causes, or how to buy a house with a mortgage if I could afford it, because abstract maths was deemed more important than advice that would literally save thousands of lives. But it's cool, because now I can tell you if the number of unnecessary deaths caused by that choice was prime. Never taught present day practical medicines, but I was told what the ancient Hippocratic method is. I've got a headache.
If I'm being honest with you, don't know what the ancient Hippocratic method is, but I feel like we should be taught more about medicines, what we should be consuming, what we shouldn't be taking. Like for example, this is just out of the blue, but I love the gym. I love working out. So I should be able to know that what I'm consuming in my body's okay, such as protein powder, creatine, right? Pre-workout. I should be able to know if my body's capable of handling that substance or supplement, yes or no.
Is ceaseless. What should I take? Maybe try some leeches. Could we discuss domestic abuse and get the facts, or how to help my depressed friend with a mental?
I feel like we don't focus on mental health enough. We do dedicate a few days to it, but I feel like dedicating those days aren't really helping the people. It's the one-on-one conversations they need that are gonna benefit them, and I feel like we don't do enough of that.
State? No, but learn mental maths, because you won't have a calculator with you every day. They say it's not the kids, the parents are the problem. Then if you taught the kids to parent, that's the problem solved then. Or this advice about using a condom, but not for when you actually have a kid when you want one. I'm only fluent in this language, for serious, the rest of the world speaks too. Do you think I'm an idiot?
So for us, we speak French. They probably don't. We did dedicate around 5 years to French, which was from grade 4 to 9. But I feel like although we did dedicate that, I don't think it's very necessary. Like for example, I personally am able to speak 4 languages. I can speak English, Hindi, Punjabi, and I'm able to speak the slightest bit of French. Okay, technically French doesn't really count because I barely understand the basics, and it's not really considered a language when you can't speak it fluently. So yeah.
Which policies exist or how to make them change may we je parle un peu de français. So at 18 I was expected to elect a representative for a system I had never been presented with. But I won't take.
When he says a system that I was never presented with, we have done voting back in elementary school, and I feel like that's just not enough to explain to us what voting is and everything. So I feel like they should give us a better representation of that.
I'll tell everyone my childhood things don't stay in school.
So I completely agree with him. I took from this, some of the points were valid, some of them weren't. I personally think that school should be teaching more business related things, and they should be mandatory, such as law and business. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. Hope you guys have a very wonderful day, and please consider subscribing. Thank you.